Hi guys, nice to see you. Today I'm going to talk about optimization for deep funnel outcomes in long sales cycle businesses. For us, a long sales cycle is anything that is longer than 3 weeks. Ironically, I'm talking about this problem at an e-commerce stage. Which one of you is doing business for an e-commerce company? Yeah, the problems I'm going to talk about today, well, most likely you've never heard of them and you've never experienced them. It is going to be like a horror story for you. And who is working for a B2B company, doing marketing for B2B? Okay, guys, yeah. The problems I'm going to talk to you about will be near and dear to you, and the problems I share as well. And the presentation will be more like a drama for you, but with lived happily ever after at the end. So, when you do marketing in e-commerce, you have revenue fast, and if you're lucky enough and your LTV matures within a week or maybe even faster, you are king. Well, you can optimize for revenue drop. But what happens if you do marketing for a B2B company? You have some problems, usually. Most likely, your end-to-end conversions is lower than 0.01%. And most likely, you have narrow target audience. Well, not many people will understand what you are selling, and not many people are looking for your product, naturally. And most likely, your sales cycle takes long. 3 weeks is easy. Usually, B2B sales 2 months, 3 months, half a year and a half. This can usually happen. So your campaign optimization formula will be complicated. If in e-commerce it was just ad spend times target ROAS and you're good. In B2B marketing, it will be, you will have to factor in so many parameters: ad spend, cost per lead, conversion ratio, first payment, initial MRO. You know all those abbreviations. And how do you tell ad platforms which customers are good? How do you switch from getting more leads, cheaper leads, better leads, to telling ad platforms, okay, Facebook, okay, Google, bring me revenue? Our understanding that you can do that if you use predictive conversions. So instead of optimizing for how you can get the leads right away, and most likely of the doubtful quality, you can say, okay, this is how we can predict the outcome. If it can be a quality lead, it can be a quality opportunity, it can be MQL, SQL, whatever. What is important for your business? And naturally, we are an .ai company. That's why we do that with advanced machine learning and that sort of thing. But you can also predict some conversions with your that can be rule-based, for example. You can do that by yourself. For example, how you can do that? You can assign a value to each visit of your website or a mobile app, just based on a number of pages that they have visited. And instead of sending back to Facebook or Google or LinkedIn now a binary event the lead has happened or not happened, 0 or 1s, you can send a value. And you can actually do that by yourself. Naturally, we do that with advanced machine learning based on first-party behavioral data. So what we do, we look closely at the website, install a pixel there, your website as our customer, and we track a gazillion data points there, 100 or 150 times more than Google Analytics or Adobe Analytics would do. Really, really mine granular details. We understand that. Then we match this data with CRM outcomes. It can be sales, it can be LTV. If you know how to calculate LTV for a business, awesome. We can ingest that. Then we throw in some advanced machine learning, and we understand which pattern that a user exhibits on your website, which behavioral pattern that a user exhibits on your website indicates high intent. So when we see the behavior after our machine learning is on, we can calculate two figures. We can calculate the probability to buy, and this is percentage, how likely this person is buying. And, which is more important, we can predict the purchase value. We just assign a dollar or euro amount to every session that you witness on your website. Once you are geared up with that, this is a true predictive conversion that you can use for any number of purposes. You can fire it back to Google, Facebook, and LinkedIn, and okay, tell them, Facebook, bring me more customers like that. Stop bringing me leads that I don't know quality of, but please bring me people with this expected revenue. Or be that Instagram, YouTube, Google search ads, whatever. Or you can use this data and tell your sales team, okay, sales guys, focus on these leads. Because basically, it is not important for us, or it is not important for you, whether it's a visit that is scored, a lead that is scored, just a session. Okay, now that your sales team is empowered with the monetary value that is assigned to the lead, they can be more proactive. They can focus on high-quality leads. And why? It is not just a number of points that a lead gets, but a dollar amount. But the sweetest point is predictive attribution. This is what you can do when you can calculate the probability to buy. Basically, once the session is over, we can tell you, and we can tell ad platforms, we can tell your data teams how much incremental value this person has brought. And this is very important if your sales cycle is long and there are dozens of touch points on the user journey. How does it work? For example, today, you have generated some demand, kudos, and your user comes from, let's say, Facebook, and he or she is valued like $150. Time passes, and the user searches for your company and finds you via organic search, and exhibits the behavior that reveals that the intent is higher. She or he did some research and are more interested in your company. Awesome. We value this visit like $300, 300 euros, whatever. And basically, what is important, we can fire to each ad platform the incremental value that this platform generated. And this is the power of attribution. Okay. Why do we bother about these predictive conversions? Like, what's the whole thing is about? We are very proud about our predictive conversions because they are fast and numerous. Why is it important that the conversions are fast? I'm showing here the slide from a Facebook presentation that speaks about the importance of data freshness. Well, everybody knows that the attribution window of Facebook is 7 days. Okay, we used to think, even at Tommy.ai, okay, if you squeeze your sale into this 7-day window, attribution window, you are fine. But actually, even within this window, the better you fire this conversion to Facebook, the better you send this conversion to Facebook, the better, because they will use a different type of algorithm to ingest it. That's why it is super important to have your conversions, not even like within 7 days, but within 2 hours, within a day. The faster you can get it, the better. This is why the data freshness is important, because advertising platforms will use like more powerful algos. Why is it important to have more conversions? Obviously, because everything runs on statistics. And the more conversions you have, the better. Why? If you've tried launching campaigns that were sitting in the learning phase forever, you know what the problem is. Because how fast can you get 50 or even more valuable outcomes for your campaign? This is kind of complicated. So how do we approach that? Or how can you approach that with your custom-made predictive conversions? So we have valued every website visitor, and we know like this person is going to buy for $10,000 with 1% probability. Okay, awesome. It means that right now, the value of this session is $100. And we tell Facebook or Google or LinkedIn, this person has already bought for €100, dollar, whatever. And this conversion is ready. And OK, what your usual conversion in e-commerce would be 2% end-to-end one. What will be the usual conversion in B2B? It will be like 0.01%. For every like 10,000 visits, you'll get one conversion. Not that much. And how long should you wait to ship enough conversions to ad platforms? Long enough. Imagine you can take top 2% from your visitors, scored ones naturally, and instead of sending one conversion to Facebook, you can send 200 conversions. They will not be for like $7,000, $70,000. I don't know what your check is. They will be for a smaller amount. But this data is enough for Facebook and Google to turbocharge their algos that will start bringing you more revenue and not just leads. OK. It is a leap of faith that you have to do with predictive marketing. Because basically, instead of doing manual bidding and adjusting audiences, creating segments, you have to delegate it to Facebook. And you can basically what you can do, you can leverage the superpowers and the wealth of third-party data that they have with if you give them enough optimization signal. What may happen, and what usually happens, since Facebook and Google will start bringing you higher quality people, higher quality users, the cost per click can rise. Usually, even the cost per lead rises if you start optimizing for revenue, for deep funnel outcomes. But do not fear, because the conversion, if the lead quality is a lot higher, the conversion rate from lead into order, sale, whatever you call it, will be so much higher. For example, in this case, it is 4.5 times higher. So it overweights the small increase in the small increase of the cost per click. This is how it works. Basically, if you have your conversion rate from lead to sale that skyrockets, your ROAS grows, your customer acquisition cost drops. This is the usual situation. For example, in this case that I'm showing here, we had a B2B customer focusing on small business. And before they talked to us, they used to optimize for free trials. This is their business model. So they used to attract people for free trials. And the problem was they didn't convert well enough into paying customers. Happens to the best of us. So what we did, we decided to optimize for the predicted conversions, for the revenue they were going to get from the visit that they have on their website. And it worked really well. You can see that ROAS doubled, and this was only calculated based on the first purchase. We should calculate it with the LTV, and we are going to do that, but we are waiting for the cohorts to mature. It also works in banking, and here you can see it's a very rare case, and I'm proud of it. I won't hide. So this case is important because here the cost per click did not grow that much, actually dropped slightly. But the conversion rate grew 1.4 times, and it allowed us to cut the customer acquisition cost twice. This is how it works. And I have given you an example of what it is like if you are geared with true ML-powered predictive conversions. It's cool to know that it exists, and you don't have to optimize for leads if you work for a long cycle business. But what is also cool to know, I believe, and it was the purpose of my speech to inspire you, what if you look, I believe that it is still more valuable to look one step lower at your conversion funnel and try to predict the conversion that is lower than a lead, but with a very high probability. Think what you can do with that. It can be rule-based, or you can try some basic ML for that, but still, this is something to explore. That is not only the leads you can optimize for, it is also the valuable outcomes, revenue, LTV. This is how B2B marketing should be. What happened 10 years ago when advertising platforms launched smart bidding? E-commerce skyrocketed because now they could attract customers a lot cheaper. Now it is the time for the revolution for B2B, banking, real estate, to gain the power back. Because, okay, even if we are working with the long sales cycles, it doesn't mean that we have to work with leads only. So, all the best of luck with the optimization of ad campaigns for you guys. Have a great day.
Live event, right?